Bitcoin is the most important digital asset in the world. It's the biggest, the most secure, the most decentralized, and the one asset institutions trust above all else. Yet for 15 years, Bitcoin has had one massive problem. You can't do anything with it. $2.2 trillion in Bitcoin, mostly just sitting idle on wallets, hardware devices, or cold storage. Meanwhile, Ethereum, with a market cap 1/4 the size, has $150 billion locked in DeFi. That's 0.3 of Bitcoin's market cap that's actually being utilized. Not 30%, not 3%, 0.3%. Today we're going to talk about a project that I believe is solving this problem in a way that no one has been able to do so far. A hybrid chain that merges Bitcoin security with Ethereum's flexibility. This is Bob. Build on Bitcoin. And what they're building could unlock the largest untapped opportunity in all of crypto. My name is Paul Sampson. Welcome back to DataDash. Folks, before we get into what Bob is, we need to frame the opportunity. Bitcoin DeFi, or BTC DeFi, is growing faster than any area of crypto. BTC DeFi TVL, or total value locked, is up nearly 1,000% year over year, from under $1 billion to over $8 billion, and institutions are looking for yield on their Bitcoin for the first time. Retail investors also want to earn without leaving the Bitcoin ecosystem. And here's the critical point. If Bitcoin reaches the same DeFi penetration rate as Ethereum, we're talking about over $700 billion flowing into Bitcoin DeFi, which is about a 100x expansion of the current BTC DeFi market. The demand is already here, the capital is already here, but the infrastructure is not. Now this, my friends, is where Bob enters the picture. Bob describes itself as a hybrid L2, one that fuses the following: Bitcoin's unmatched security, Ethereum's EVM flexibility, ZK cryptography, and a trust-minimized native BTC bridge. No custodian, no wrapped tokens, no paper Bitcoin. On Bob, Bitcoin is just Bitcoin. And that alone, folks, is groundbreaking. But the architecture behind this is what truly stands out. Bob combines OP Stack, which allows developers to deploy normal EVM-based dApps, ZK proofs, which are zero-knowledge proofs to secure transactions and state, Bitcoin finality, meaning apps and assets are ultimately secured by Bitcoin, as well as BitVM-powered native BTC deposits, which allow for real BTC to move on-chain via fraud-proof bridge, not a custodian. So this is not just a side chain, this is not just a wrapped BTC protocol, this is the first hybrid rollup designed specifically for Bitcoin's liquidity. And the reason that Bitcoin DeFi hasn't taken off is quite simple. Bitcoin has no smart contracts. And every attempt to bring BTC into smart contract systems requires trust. Wrapped tokens, custodial bridges, multi-sigs, federations, all things that introduce new risks. Bob's approach changes the game because you can deploy EVM apps normally, you can bridge real BTC trust minimized, you secure everything with BTC and ZK proofs, you can also access liquidity across 11 plus chains instantly. That combination simply did not exist before. And because of this, every category of BTC becomes possible. Lending, borrowing, yield strategies, structured products, derivatives, automated vaults, cross-chain intents, and institutional-grade BTC flows. This opens the door for Bitcoin to become a productive asset safely. And what's impressed me the most is that Bob is not just theory. They have real traction, real users, and real liquidity today. Here's the overview. $300 million plus in TVL on-chain, with the highest TVL of any Bitcoin sidechain or L2, $21 million raised with early investors doubling down, and tier 1 integrations such as Uniswap, Chainlink, Fireblocks, and Solve Protocol. Institutional support for native BTC bridging, Anchorage, Rockaway, Amber Digital, P2P, and native BTC via the BitVM, which is live on testnet. This is not a small experimental chain. This is becoming the premier destination for Bitcoin liquidity and institutional BTC flows. Let's break down the technology pillars in a clear way. The hybrid chain, BTC plus ETH. Bob uses the OP stack as its EVM base, so that means solidity. Uniswap, Aave-style lending, all plug and play. But instead of using Ethereum for final settlement, Bob uses Bitcoin finality. So Bob transactions are ultimately secured by Bitcoin stakers, not Ethereum, and this ties the entire L2 to Bitcoin's economic weight and security. Every transaction, state transition, and bridge action is verified with zero-knowledge proofs for maximum security. Then we have native BTC deposits, and this is the most important piece. BitVM allows Bitcoin to move on chain using fraud proofs, challenge periods, no custodians, no wrapped assets, no multi-sig signatures. And this makes Bob the first L2 where BTC is actually BTC, not just an IOU and not just a representation. Users can actually deposit BTC into strategies, vaults, or DeFi positions across multiple chains, all in a single transaction. And this is what's going to onboard millions of users. Bob is not just a chain, it's a Bitcoin liquidity router. And through the Bob gateway, users can deposit or withdraw BTC from 11 plus chains, and 15,000 plus dApps can tap into this Bitcoin liquidity as well. Developers can integrate Bitcoin flows. This is something that Bitcoin has never had. Cross-chain liquidity meets minimized Bitcoin settlement, which unlocks enormous potential for both ecosystems. So here's what's on the horizon for Bob. Bitcoin finality rollout via staked BTC, BitVM production launch in early 2026, more BTC native earn products, and expanded chain integrations beyond 11 chains, mass adoption through BTC intents and vaults, and deeper institutional integrations for custodians, asset managers, and infrastructure players. Everything is aligned to unlock Bitcoin's $700 billion DeFi opportunity, and for the first time in Bitcoin's history, we're seeing a path where Bitcoin can remain decentralized, trustless, and censorship resistant, all while becoming productive at scale. Bob sits at the center of that transformation. Again, this isn't just another L2, this is the first serious attempt to fuse the security of Bitcoin with the flexibility of Ethereum and the efficiency of ZK cryptography. If you care about Bitcoin, if you care about real adoption, this is a narrative that you need to pay attention to. I'll link the official Bob resources down below if you want to dive deeper. And as always, stay safe, stay focused. I'll see you on the next video, folks. And until then, everybody, cheers.